Good morning, Concordia. Welcome to this beautiful spring day. Thank you for joining us online. We're going to get started with love. Love is all there is, right? Love.
morning. Boy, that was a wake up, huh? Welcome to Concordia Centers for Spiritual Living. My name is Pam Bueller, and I'm grateful to be here in service to you today. Wherever you are, and welcome to those of you joining us online, and wherever you are in your spiritual path, you are welcome here. So I'd like to take a moment just to join the millions of people who are grieving the loss of Pope Francis, and just holding a moment of prayer, just in reflection for his service to the millions of people around the world. Thank you. So Concordia, where many hands and hearts come together as one. We bring new thought to ancient wisdom. We are a center for spiritual living because our mission is to provide spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its own spiritual magnificence, and our vision is a world that works for all. So we're grateful you're here. If you're here for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. We welcome you again wherever you are on your spiritual path. We do have, the greeters have a welcoming package that tells you a little bit more about who and what we are, including our monthly magazine, which I encourage all to take advantage of. We have some here for sale, and each day there's an inspirational message that again brings truth to the moment. So we're very grateful to be part of a larger story and a larger organization. In the pew in front of you is a card, a connection card. I believe it's pink this month. And please share with us your name, your email address if you'd like to get on our mailing list. And more importantly, on the back side of the card, we encourage the whole congregation to send us your prayers, tell us your wants, your needs, and we will hold you in consciousness and support. And also there are some activities on the back of that card you can check off. And any feedback, about the center or an experience you're having here, there's also a place on the card to fill that out. So after service, we continue with fellowship. So downstairs there'll be some refreshments being served, and all are welcome. And with that, I am just clear in knowing that Spirit is in this place, divinely guiding all into right action. And may the service move forward in love, wisdom, and power to the world at large. With love in my heart, I say blessed be, amen, and so it is.
I invite you to take a breath.
Surely the presence of God morning, beloved ones. I'm John Taratz. I'll be the practitioner today, sharing the affirmative prayer for spiritual mind treatment. I invite everybody to join in a moment of sacred silence. If so moved, please go within. So in this space of expanding consciousness, please take these words personally, intimately, for each and every one, here and online and beyond. I stand on the precipice of knowing this truth, on the living edge of all eternity unfolding before me right here and right now. I claim that God is all there is. I know that God comes forth in everything, no matter what, even in the unseen substance that I cannot see, cannot even feel, or have no idea of what it truly is. And yet I know it is spirit, forever moving upon itself in ever greater ways through everything. Everything that was, everything that is now, everything that is yet to be. But because this is the truth, that God is all there is, I, John, am an example. I am a vessel. I am a creation of this one living God. It breathes me, it moves me, it fills me. It is the very nature and essence and being and completeness of what I am. I am made of pure love. And so I know this truth deeply and fully about me. I know it of everybody here and everybody everywhere. There is no division, no separation, no less than. There is only togetherness. There is only oneness. There is only this gift of life perpetuating itself, expanding, growing, giving, living. It is joy. It is love. It is beauty, harmony, peace, kindness, compassion. This and greater good I claim for my life and for the lives of all. And so in deep faith, I know this truth well. My heart sings its song in faith, in belief. And so I consciously think about this, and I make decisions based on this premise, that I am guided, guarded, governed, directed, inspired, intelligently shown the way, and I depend on everything that is God within me to bring forth a greater good. So if this is the truth, then I get my bloated nothingness out of the way, and I let God do the heavy lifting, and I expect the miraculous. I expect the gifts pouring through me, in me, and as me. I benefit everybody, and everybody benefits me. That is the truth. And so I relax into this knowingness. I accept it, I claim it, and in faith, I just smile. I smile, and I am grateful. I am grateful to be alive. I am grateful to love and be loved. I am grateful to know that I can do and do amazing things, because there is no opposition to love. And so I relax completely, fully, totally, and I breathe a sigh of relief, knowing that all is well. All is well. And together, I invite everyone to say this truth by saying, and so it is.
So today we have a special guest, Reverend Karen Linsley, who will be delivering our message today. Keeping in mind our theme this year is to rise higher and grow deeper. And today the collective theme is fertilizing our future. So Reverend Karen Linsley, is an ordained minister with Centers for Spiritual Living. She serves through her focus ministry titled Fearlessly Feral Living, with the production of a podcast of the same name, available wherever you listen to podcasts. She's also a published author, and her third book is almost ready for publication. She teaches workshops, classes, and facilitates retreats. She also serves as the interim minister for CSL and is currently serving CSL Bakersfield, California. She is a sought-after guest speaker, having spoken at Unity at the Lake in the South Lake Tahoe, Unity Sacramento, California, and Centers for Spiritual Living in Bakersfield, Tacoma, Albuquerque, Grass Valley, Auburn, Sacramento, Placerville, Reno, Lake Tahoe, Las Vegas, Sylvia, North Carolina, and Lake Havasu. She's traveling around. She believes we were put on this earth to be happy and powerful and to express ourselves as the unique manifestations of the spirit that we are. She lives in rural northern Nevada with her 2 dogs, 2 cats, 2 horses, and enjoys driving her sports car, riding her horse, going to the range, gardening, cooking, and attending potlucks. So we are grateful to have our world traveling minister here to support us as we give her a warm welcome. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is so delightful to be back here again. Hi, everybody. And to see all your faces once again. I'm delighted and honored to be back. And, boy, that's quite the bio. I probably need to shorten that up a bit, huh? Yeah, and, I was listening to the treatment this morning, and what a profound treatment that was. Thank you very much. Because it speaks precisely to what I'm going to talk about today. And I like to get my topic titles from our global vision, our global themes from home office. And our title today is Embracing the Power of Re-Generativity. And I thought to myself, well, what does regenerativity mean? I mean, really, what is that stuff? And it's about renewal. It's really about renewal. And we're in such a unique time right now. Last week we had Easter, and it's springtime, and metaphorically, there's just so much going on. I'm doing a wedding this afternoon, and my couple told me they chose today because it's a new moon today. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but they said they wanted to get married on the new moon, that they met on the new moon. And so I incorporated some new moon stuff into my wedding ceremony for them, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I guess my whole point with all of this stuff is that we're in the midst of a rebirth right now, both metaphorically and in real life. And we're in the midst of a rebirth that comes after a death of sorts. There has been some death, there has been some decay, there has been some awfulness, there's been some things that have happened, some things that don't feel so good, and things that continue to happen. But you know what? We humans, particularly we Centers for Spiritual Living humans, we humans that practice science of mind, we're made of stronger stuff than that. We're made of stronger stuff than what's going on out there in the world. We survive Not in spite of it, but because of it. In fact, we thrive because of it. This is what we do. And if you're anything like me, I mean, once in a while, it's time to go in the backyard and eat worms, how I like to put it. It's time to bemoan our fate sometimes. It's might be time to have some self-pity. Might be time to hide under the covers and retreat for a while. But sooner or later, you know what? All that stuff gets really old. Sooner or later, if you're anything like me, you begin to realize that all that stuff is getting in the way of our highest good. You know, I'm supposed to show up every Sunday morning and inspire you folks and make you feel better about your life and the world you live in. And I wasn't able to do that for a while. That was like really tough for me for a while. And I thought, oh my goodness, Karen, you really need to get it together here because this is not working. So perhaps that's happening for you too. Staying in that place of self-pity and woe is me and all the sadness and the anger, you know, that's normal stuff to feel and we need to process it, but we also need to move on. Like what was said in the treatment, you know, we need to get our bloated nothingness out of the way. I loved that. And there's a chapter in the Science of Mind textbook called The Power of Thought. And in this chapter, there's a section titled, We Set Our Own Limitations. And in that section, Ernest Holmes says this, daily we must affirm the divine presence within us. And as I was preparing this talk and I read that quote, I thought to myself, boom, that's it. That's how we renew. That's how we regenerate. We daily affirm the divine presence within us. This is how we resurrect. This is how we move beyond all the sadness and the anger and all the stuff. When we affirm the divine presence within us, we come out more beautiful than ever. We come out like a butterfly, emerging from that messy cocoon, flying away covered in magnificence to experience all the wonders that life has to offer. So this is the message I bring to you today. Rebirth, renewal, regeneration. This is what life is all about. I mean, sometimes, you know, we still have to experience the limitations. I think I feel a sneeze coming on, guys. I'm sorry. I have a little bit of hay fever. It really is springtime in the desert here, and everything's blooming and it's gorgeous. But yes, I'm sneezing. So let me move on and see if I can move past this sneeze. Sometimes we still have to sometimes experience those limitations. You know, sometimes we have to stop and sneeze. There it is. Sometimes we've got to have winter to get to spring. And it seems like some part of us needs it to be this way. It seems like sometimes, you know, in order for us to be willing to move on to our next greatest level of expression, we have to have a death of sorts. We have to say, enough is enough. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. I am not going to do or be this anymore. And we release all that old stuff and we move into the new. And sometimes I think, wouldn't it be nice just to willy-nilly decide it's time to move into a new place in life. It's time to be something new. Wouldn't it be nice to just be able to make that decision without experiencing any death or drama or trauma in our life? And yet, I don't know, I think maybe we need that stuff in order to move forward. And you know, one of my favorite guys is Joseph Campbell. And he said this, I know, yeah. He said this, what has always been basic to resurrection or Easter is crucifixion. If you want to resurrect, you must have crucifixion. Too many interpretations of the crucifixion have failed to emphasize that. They emphasize the calamity of the event. And if you emphasize calamity, then you look for someone to blame. It is not a calamity if it leads to new life. And I'm going to repeat that sentence. It is not a calamity if it leads to new life. And here's another deal about looking for someone to blame. When we look for someone to blame in all the stuff that happens, we keep ourselves from forgiveness, which is how we move forward, and we create more victimhood for ourselves. So blame is like really not something we want to do. What if we considered, though, all that stuff, the things we want to blame, the things what we call a crucifixion, what if, the metaphorical winners, what if we just considered that stuff as a pathway to get to where we want to be? A pathway to a rebirth, a regeneration, a movement into our next greatest level of expression. That's what I'd like to consider all that stuff. And that's what I do consider all that stuff. It's all a pathway. It was all a path for me to get from where I was to where I am today. So we've had Easter. It is springtime. Where I live, my daffodils just bloomed. And they are always the first to remind me of the eternal cycle of rain here. The beauty and the strength of those new and wonderful and miraculous little yellow delights. I mean, they come up and they hang out and they always get snowed on. Mine got snowed on yesterday. It snowed here yesterday. They pop up their heads to be the first to proclaim new life after they just spent months looking like they were dead. Except that underneath the ground, stuff was happening. And that's a clue for us, folks. That's a clue. Death is not a calamity. It's a part of life. Is it painful? Yes, of course it is. Do we have to heal from those deaths? Yes, of course we do. Do we have to heal from the winners of our life? Yes, of course we do. Even if in those winners all we do is rest and recuperate, that's a healing of sorts. And we get to grieve and do forgiveness and that's all yummy stuff to me. We get to do all of that and sink into that. And what I'm speaking to here is the same, whether it's happening, Ernest talks about as within, so without. What's happening within us is also happening out there and vice versa. And what happens on a macro level out there also happens on a micro level personally. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, globally and nationally, even in our own centers for spiritual living, and maybe in your own personal life. There's a lot of change going on. Daily. And I'm back to what Ernest Holmes says. Daily, I need to affirm the presence within myself. That divine presence. That's the only way I can get through all of this. And eventually, when we daily affirm that presence within ourselves, only one thing can emerge from all of this: good. And you know what? We have a saying around here, it's all good all the time. And contrary to what some people might want to think, it's all good all the time, and so I'm just going to ignore the bad. No, that's not what I believe in. Bad stuff does happen. It's really bad. Bad stuff happens. What it's all good all the time means is that the bad stuff is a pathway to the good, and we've got some stuff to do to get there. Because the good is always there. We just have to find it. We just have to find it. And that brings me to another favorite Ernest Holmes quote: principle is not bound by precedent, which means that we live in principle, and we live in principle today. How we live today is not bound by what happened in the past. The past, or our precedents, have no power to determine how we think or believe or act today. It does if we allow it, but it doesn't. It doesn't have any power unless we give it that power. So it's time for renewal. It's time to regenerate. It's time to move beyond what happened and into something new. And Ernest Holmes, again, he talks about renewing our minds. You know, Ernest Holmes, he gives me a lot of comfort. His work gives me comfort. I have tons and tons and tons of books. I have a Kindle and literally tons of books at my fingertips. Ernest Holmes is the one I return to again and again and again. And he talks about renewing our minds. And, you know, in your introduction this morning, someone said that we teach new ways of thinking about ancient wisdom. That regeneration, that renewal of our minds, Ernest Holmes didn't come up with that. That stuff is in the Bible. I mean, that's older. That's ancient wisdom there. And this teaching we have here today, this new thought teaching, this is an empowerment teaching. There is great personal power in oneness and the creative process and the fact that we have a triune nature. There's great personal power in our practices of affirmation and self-awareness. We get to use all of these to renew our minds and recreate something new in our lives. This isn't a movement about saying it's all good all the time and denying that bad things have happened. It's a teaching that says, yes, bad things have happened. Now here's the tools to find the good that's inherently in all of it, and to gain strength and power and improve our lives and live in that magnificent place like a butterfly where we're flying free, covered with beautiful colors and just loving life. Ernest Holmes says this about renewing the mind. He says, consequently, our outlook on life must be transformed by the renewing of the mind. And even when the results are not immediately forthcoming, we must still maintain a calm serenity of thought. We must relight the torch of our imagination by fire cut from heaven. We must remain faithful to this vision, for a realization of the presence of God is the secret power of our work. Again, that divine presence within us. He says, that's the secret power of our work. I just love that. So we go within and we daily affirm the divine presence within us. And we use that divine presence to daily affirm our good and remain calm and serene in the midst of chaos, to behave with grace and dignity, no matter what. And then we get to the part where in the Science Mind textbook, and Ernest Holmes is quoting from the New Testament here, and he says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. He says, today we know what this means. The renewing of our mind is a scientific act. As conscious thought pours truth into the subjective channels of creative energy, the body is automatically renewed. This is mental healing. I just love it. This is the part of the teaching that gives me so much comfort. So much comfort. I have a little visual for you. How we can so easily get off track sometimes and forget to daily affirm the presence, the divine presence within us. So it's springtime, and I was in Bakersfield a few weeks ago doing my intern minister thing, and I had some spare time, and so I went to a park. There was a little pond in this park, and there were mama ducks and baby ducks running around. And I watched a mama duck with all of her baby ducks, and one of the little ducklings got sidetracked. Went off on a little journey somewhere else. Lost his mom, lost his siblings. And so he's scurrying around, looking for mom, looking to get back to his comfort zone. But in the meantime, he kept getting sidetracked over and over and over again. It's like, oh, look at that, that's pretty cool. Look at that, that's really interesting. So he kept getting sidetracked. Meanwhile, mom's finally discovered she's lost one of her babies. And so she's quacking and looking around, and she finally found him and brought him back to the rest of the family unit. And isn't that how it works for us? We're going through life and we forget. We forget what we're doing sometimes. We forget to daily affirm the divine presence within us. And so we get sidetracked. And yeah, we might learn a few little things on the adventure. We might discover some new things about ourselves on the adventure. But eventually, we find our way back home to that divine presence within us. And you know, that mom, that mom duckling, she represents our faith. She represents our inner connection with the God of our understanding. She represents that divine presence within us. And she represents the tools and the techniques and the practices that we teach around here. Affirmative prayer and prayer partners and classes and workshops and practitioners and inner self-awareness and visioning. And oh my goodness, there's so much here to help us realize that divine presence within. So much stuff to allow us to continually, daily renew our minds if we have to. This is how we regenerate. This is how we move into this renewal of our minds. This is how we resurrect. So my message today is, it's a new, wonderful day. We have all spent our time here this morning in treatment, in prayer, in music, lovely music, renewing our minds. It's a good day. It's a day for celebration. It's a day to rise up and declare. It's a day to rise up and declare that that divine presence is within us. It's a day to rise up and say, yes, God is within me. God is a part of me. I am a living, breathing, moving manifestation of spirit. And I have power. And I am good. And it is all good. All the time. And so my message is complete. And I thank you all once again for being here. Thank you very much. Yay!
Thank you so much. So we're going to bring this message forward further. Take a breath. It's always good to keep being inspired, right? Yes. Brave faith. beautiful dancers. Woo-hoo!
So news you can use. Please excuse me for a moment. I did want to make another announcement at the beginning, just in love and grace, that one of our beloved longtime members transitioned last week, and that is Luann Nixon. So on behalf of this community, we have faith of the eternal life and are quite convinced, I'm quite convinced that she's in a joyful place. So blessed be. And sending love and prayers to our sister Barbara Fewitt, also whose brother transitioned. So let us hold each other in one another's hearts. That's what makes all of this work. So news you can use, lots of ways to engage your faith, and we have lots of circles, and we'll start with the women's circle.
Good morning, everyone. So today is the day of our Women's Circle open meeting. So the Women's Circle leaders are going to hold our May meeting today. Oh, right, because normally, sorry. So we're holding our monthly meeting, leadership meeting, here, and opening it up to women who might be interested in joining our leadership. We always have an open chair. We really would welcome some new people to come and join us. And so this is an opportunity for you to see how a meeting looks, feel what it feels like to be in circle with us, and perhaps ignite that spark of wanting to join us even further. So please do join us after service today, 11:30, and I believe we're doing it 11:30 to 1? Ish. Maybe earlier. Yeah. All right, thank you.
And sacred activism. I thought you were jumping up here before I got to the mic.
You know, I'm on hospitality today, so I was going to go start some. Anyway, sacred activism, yes. So how do we express our love that we develop here at Concordia out in the world? How do we manifest and demonstrate what it means to be alive to others that may be looking for that, or may just need some support, or just how do we get out there and spread the love and the joy and the amazingness that we feel here at the Brave Faith? How do we do that? So come join with us and at Sacred Activism. Our next meeting will be this Monday, 6:30 to 8:30 downstairs in Fellowship Hall. I impress upon you, I call you forward to join us in demonstrating the amazing thing that we experience here out there.
Thank you, Tracy. On May 9th, a Friday night, Jenny Finn will be bringing forth an energetic spring cleaning class or event from 6:30, starting at 6:30. And this is an opportunity to do exactly what today's message was about regenerative. Sometimes we have to till the garden. So it's an opportunity to clear your energy field. She encourages you to bring a yoga mat, wear some comfortable clothes and blankets if you so choose. All are welcome. And this is a gift from her to the community. So she is accepting on behalf of all of us love offerings for that event. Again, Friday, May 9th, all are welcome. And then men's breakfast.
Good morning, everybody. Also online. So every second Saturday of the month, we hold men's breakfast. Brian Fisk and I cook up a nice fresh breakfast for our men, and we share in fellowship. As men, we tend to isolate, so this gives us all an opportunity to kind of convene and just be in each other's presence. And that's it for that. I also want to take this opportunity, somewhat belatedly, but it's better late than never, to recognize and acknowledge this beautiful fundraiser that we had on April 4th. And we had Lisa Bentley. We had Ben
band members, Paul and John, who joined and backed up, and we had some of our singers join as well. We had Miles Medley come up and do this amazing performance. And I just want to acknowledge the beautiful event that it was. It raised over $2,100 for the center. This is money that helps us keep the lights on, literally. Helps all the machinations and the hard work that goes behind the scenes. And I want to acknowledge a few people who really contributed tremendously behind the scenes that you don't see. There's a lot of hard work and sweat equity that goes into these events. And the first person that I want to recognize is Pam Padula. Pam has been an amazing resource for us. She and Sharon Manville came here and decorated this place. It looked like a nightclub. I mean, it was an amazing, amazing thing. I showed up for a few minutes to help them out, and I was an assistant, but there were other folks too behind the scenes. The greeting team helped bring in all the beautiful confections and yummy food that we served downstairs in the buffet. We had multiple people offering gift baskets. Carla Joyce contributed to that process. Laura Stone, my beautiful wife, helped with the front, and there were several other people that helped. And I just want to acknowledge it a little belatedly, but better late than never. And we look forward to another event coming forward in the next few months.
And I believe it's conscious giving. That's true, which is my favorite thing. You heard my prayer earlier, my spiritual mind treatment, and it really anchors my understanding of the givingness that is within me, that is also the reflection and exact duplicate that is within God or Spirit. There is so much abundance in the universe that apples rot on the ground. And there is so much abundance in the ocean that the oceans never run out of water. There is so much abundance that the trees never lack sunlight. The birds never lack seeds. You get my drift? And so this practice of conscious giving gives everyone the opportunity to really go within and plumb the depths of the infinite good that is present in all things, and to bring it forward, to let it shine, to let that light out from under the bushel and do great things. Do great things. It's wonderful to have the center be, and it's another thing to let it thrive and be alive and change the world, which is our mission, purpose, vision for what we do here. So I encourage, I acknowledge, I embrace this givingness called conscious giving. And I invite the greeters to come forward. And also, please remember to put your connection cards in there. Those prayers that are on the back, we will bring those forward and contemplate, meditate, and extrapolate and bring forward greater good in that way. So please join me in the giving affirmation. Divine love me, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is. You can tell I'm excited about giving, because I stumble over my words. Go for it. I'm the guy on duty today, and I'd love to pray and help support whatever it is you'd like to express and experience in a greater way. More love, more joy, more abundance, whatever. I'm open, and I'm willing, and I'm ready to support and guide. And also you can reach out at prayer@concordiacsl.org and send us an email. We'll respond in kind when you do so. Gentle reminder, please remember that there is another service after Concordia service. So please gingerly take conversation and love and head downstairs. There's coffee down there. There's some victuals to engage in and enjoy company. I also want to offer a brief closing prayer. Join me again to go within. So I acknowledge the gift that has unfolded here today. God truly has shown up through each and every moment, each and every aspect of this service, each and every message, every word, every song, every beat, every heartbeat is a demonstration of the reality of the love and goodness that is the growing edge of everything. And so I nurture this, I accept it, and I expect it. And so I say, blessed be, amen, go forth, love more, and so it is. And so it is.
We're going to leave you with one more song. Please join us. One, two, three, four.
I got the power, you got the power, we got the power.